it works, it turns on, but the big problem is that the feed dogs are not moving. So I have to take this apart and see if a gear needs to be replaced or what's going on with it. First thing we're gonna do is remove the needle. Okay, flip it over. We're gonna open this piece. Ooh, a lot of lint, very dirty, needs a good cleaning. So right here is a problem. It's very worn down on this big gear. The teeth aren't as prominent right on these three. This is very gunked up. A lot of stuff in here. Let's clean it. Mineral oil. I bought it one day when I was in a pinch because I really needed to clean my machine just quickly, and now I just keep using it because it's here. I already have it. I haven't ordered other stuff yet. Oh no. I might have to just take these gears out. There's a lot of stuff behind here. I continued oiling all the gears and shafts really well because I am going to have to take this apart, and that's going to help a lot, help everything move more freely. I used a Q-tip and tried to continue getting some of that gunk out of there and helping the oil get into those little tiny crevices, which helped me remove this stuff as well. I grabbed an Allen wrench set and started removing these little screws. This gear has one screw, and then this gear has actually 3 screws. There's 2 on the sides and one very tiny one at the top. I had to find even smaller ones for this little tiny screw that's keeping this gear on. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay. There's gear number 1. There's 1 screw on this long skinny gear, and then there's 2 screws on the larger one. And it doesn't matter what order you do this in, it's all gotta be taken apart and come back together. I'm also undoing this gear, 2 screws to remove, and I didn't show it, but I removed the screw on this top part. That way I could fold it down and be able to remove the gear and belt from the shaft, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to get the shaft to move completely out, so I could get that other gear, the first gear, off. We continue oiling everything to make it slide easily, lubricate it because it is very stiff and isn't wanting to move.
I did this part off camera, but this little ring came off of this sliding part, or this little dip right here. This is what keeps it from going all the way through, and I need this to go through in order to get these gears off. So I had to remove that and put that back on later. There we go. So there's the next gear. Pretty dirty. I should have also removed this plate because that's how I'm going to be able to get the gear shaft out enough to pull the other gears out. And I need to move the electrical box, get that out of the way.
My kids started playing some of their music. After getting the electrical box loose, I came down here and removed this right screw that's holding another little black box in place. And I didn't get a very good angle on this, but after that, on the left side, there's a bolt that does not come undone. So I started twisting to make that black plastic piece sit lower a little bit. I pushed it down to make it sit lower, and after that I was able to freely move the electrical box out of the way and pull that shaft out.
Yeah. Here comes the fun part of putting all this back together. So I put these gears on. You put the big one on first, and then this one will slide on after that. On the back shaft, this is the top shaft. And as far as putting the little screws back in, you want it to sit, the gear to sit on this divot. So slide it over there. So we're gonna leave that like that for now, because we have to mess with the hook timing afterwards. There's a divot back here. Before we tighten this back gear, we want to push the shaft through and get the other gear on, because it's not going to go on after that. And this one needs to sit just flush with the shaft. So the shaft is sitting just flush with the outside of the gear. And there's a little divot for where you need to tighten it at. To this one and tighten this in the divot. What I'm doing is lining the ends of these gears up. Well, the end of the long one and the beginning of the big one, lining those up, the very edge, and then making sure the hole, so beginning, end, and making sure the hole is on the divot, and then we put the screw on. And this little clip back on. Got that on. I had to use a Phillips head, the edge of it, to really help me push it on. Now we're gonna deal with the belt that is loose. Let's see if you can see it from here. The white wheel back there, the bottom part of the belt had slipped off and it was sitting underneath it. So I had to work my way in there and get it back on top. I got it around the white circle, and then after that I was able to get this belt slightly on because after that it was tight, and then twist this and work it all the way on, and now the belt is good and the feed dogs are working. Now for feed timing and hook timing. This is done on the divot. Try to get you in there. This was screwed in on the divot, and this one was screwed in on the divot. It's pushed back against the shaft. And now that's the hook timing, so that's done. It's connected to this one, they're rolling together. Feed timing is right here, and you have to line up these lines and then put the screw in on here. Now on my machine, this model, the screw is on the back and the line is right here. So it's going to be a little tough to get the screw in there. Or I could start feeding it in there and then tighten. Started, so I'm going to turn the line back here, match them and hold them together, and then